Hello and welcome to the Christmas edition of True Audiophiles. This is going to be my top 15 Christmas records. That's right, records. So this one was a really tough one for me because there are a lot of great Christmas records out there, but I had to narrow it down. The last few were really tough to choose between, but I hope you like my selections, and here we go. The first one, it wouldn't be Christmas without it, and that is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I mean, it's just awesome TV special. Also, great album. Basically, the first side is the entire TV special, and then the second side is basically just the music. So, very, very cool. This is a repress. I'm hoping someday to get an original, but they're pretty hard to come by. But hopefully one day I'll find it. Next one, this is probably one of the ones that was kind of borderline for me to get into the top, and that is Merry Christmas by Brenda Lee. Part of it is because there's really only one really well-known song on here, but or at least well-known, her version of being well-known anyways. Lots of great music on here. Obviously, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree is the huge one that came off of this. This is either a first pressing or at least an early pressing of it. It sounds great. It's a really great one. I was kind of surprised by it, actually, because I actually thought that, I didn't know what to expect, I should say, because it was one of those ones where, I didn't know any other songs besides Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. So, next one, another great Christmas TV special, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, featuring Burl Ives. Basically one of the original versions of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Just a great album. This is definitely an early mono pressing. Unfortunately, this one's really beat up, but hopefully, I just bought a new one that I found out there that looked like it was in a lot better condition. So I'll cross my fingers and hope that one sounds better than this copy. But this is just a great album. Well, I guess all of them are, else they wouldn't be in my top 15, or would they? Next one, Jackson 5 Christmas album. Super spectacular album. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Santa Claus is Coming to Town is really awesome. Up on the Housetop is great too. This one is a repress also. I have not been able to find an early pressing of it. Would love to find one day, but I had to kind of settle for a repress. Another soulful one here. James Brown, A Soulful Christmas. I mean, Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto is just classic. Such a great song. But there's a lot of great songs on here. If you like James Brown, you gotta grab this. This one, again, is a repress. I'm hoping to be able to score an early pressing of it, but I just have not been able to find one. James Brown in general is kind of hard to find in really good condition, too. So being able to find one and find one in great condition are very hard. So maybe someday. Next up, this is another soulful one. Kind of more of a holiday album than a Christmas album. But it's by Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. It's a holiday party. This one is signed. Unfortunately, she is no longer with us. I first saw her open up for Prince back in, I want to say, 2011, and she just blew me away, and I've just tried to find everything I could of hers. This came out a few years ago, probably about a year or two before her passing. But just a great soulful album. Really old school sound to it as well. It's not like, it doesn't sound like a modern recording. It sounds definitely old, maybe Motown, old Atlantic soul stuff. So very nice. This one, I think I gotta have 10 copies or more of this. Every time I find one, I try to see the condition it's in, and if I see different variants, because there's several different variants of this, the covers are all different, the labels are different, but every time I see a new version, I scoop it up if it's in good shape. But this is a very early pressing. This is actually a 6i stereo, which, if you know anything about Columbia stuff, if you get an album that was released in that era where you had the 6i Columbia logo, you want to scoop up those versions of it, because those definitely sound amazing. And I'll probably do a later episode on how to tell an early Columbia pressing too. But anyways, this is a very early Columbia pressing. Sounds great, and just a great Christmas album. And you couldn't have a Christmas collection without a Charlie Brown's Christmas. Just spectacular. Obviously, the special is great, but the music, quite frankly, I think the music is even better than the specials. So it's something that I definitely cherish and love. This is a repress. This is actually kind of red and white. I think I've got two different variations of reissues of this one, but I would love to find. There's actually an audiophile version, I think, somewhere out there, and then there's also just an early pressing would be awesome to find too. But they're hard to find in great condition, as any kids' Christmas record, which I would kind of sort of classify that as a kids' Christmas record is. But most kids' Christmas records just don't sound good because they're all scratched up and beat up. So this one is not a kids' Christmas record. This one is Nat King Cole, A Christmas Song. This is a great one if you want to just kind of go mellow and kind of relax and chill. Just a great singer, obviously, and some great renditions of classic songs. And this is an early Capitol pressing. So I was pretty happy to score something like this one. But Nat King Cole is just amazing. Another amazing record. Of course, these are all amazing, right? John Denver and the Muppets. Christmas Together. I mean, 12 Days of Christmas is worth of the price of admission alone. I mean, that's just a super spectacular, funny song. Or funny version of the song, anyways. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Deck the Halls. Little Saint Nick. Just a bunch of different great songs on here. Generally not a huge John Denver guy, but when you pair him with the Muppets, it's pretty hard to go wrong. This one is near and dear to my heart. This is Gene Autry sings Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This was by far my favorite Christmas record when I was a little child. Listened to it all the time. I think I might still have my original copy, but it is beat. I mean, it looks like I took a knife to it or a stone to it. It's just so bad. But luckily I scored a early pressing again on this, and it's in pretty good shape, so very excited to be able to have this in my collection as a early copy. So next one, kind of a little bit of a newer one, at least newer than most of the other ones I think we've gone through. Well, there's maybe a couple, but this is A Very Special Christmas. Awesome album with a bunch of great musicians on here. You got Whitney Houston, Bruce Springsteen, The Pretenders, U2, Run DMC, Bob Seger, Bryan Adams, Bon Jovi, Stevie Nicks, Sting. I mean, this is just so awesome too, and it was for a great cause. The other versions of this were great too. There's probably, I think, 3 or 4 other variations. I mean, there's Very Special Christmas 2 and 3, and then there's like an acoustic Christmas and I think a Jazz to the World, I think they called it. I think I've got most of the variations, but this one is definitely a great one. Would love to get the other versions on vinyl too if they ever become available, but I haven't really seen them. But this is a really great one. This one is probably my all-time favorite, and very happy to have this version of it too. It's Bing Crosby, Merry Christmas. This is actually in very early Decca pressing. I mean, they made versions of it, I think, on 78 and 10-inch before this, but this is a very early 12-inch, 33 RPM mono version. Just get the mono versions. If you find it out there and you see it's in stereo, don't buy it, because it's basically just the mono with some stereo reverb on it, and that's really it. And it kind of takes away from the charm of it, I think. So this one's an awesome one. Unfortunately, not an awesome human being, but awesome record and awesome singer. So here's another kind of chill one. Some audiophiles and other people that are almost audiophiles can't stand her for some reason, but it's Diana Krall. I think she's got a great voice. This is a great chill Christmas record to listen to. She's very talented. But again, great record to listen to if you just kind of want to chill out. So, all right. So next one is is a newer one. It's probably is the newest one, I think, in the top 15 here, and that's A Very Casey Christmas. So this is Kacey Musgraves. She's just such a talented musician, artist, singer, songwriter. If you like country music at all, you should definitely check her out. I mean, she's kind of pop and country, but just really talented, great voice, great songwriter. This one actually was autographed, so I'm pretty psyched about that. But it's a great album. A great version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. She has a song called Ribbons and Bows that she wrote that is really awesome on this. But just several different great things. She's got Leon Bridges on here, Willie Nelson as well. But it's something that's newer to my collection, at least newer to most of these other ones. So that's it. That's my top 15. Kind of some honorable mentions would be like Trans-Siberian Orchestra is always good. You've got just a bunch of other stuff. But I would really love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your favorite Christmas records of all time are. Please leave your comments down in the comment section about what you feel are your top 15. What did I miss? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? If you really like what you see here, please subscribe to my channel. And if you would be so kind to hit the notification bell to make sure you know when I release new videos also, that would be awesome. Thank you for your time, and you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.